We're going to go through 3 topics. We're going to talk about these advantages for the long-term European residency, B1 certificate, language proficiency.
So our goals, connecting people, obviously, that's why you are here. Analyze this data. What is our mission? We wanted to go into the next level as well.
From this experience, I know how important for you foreigners is to getting this legal residency. 4 forms of legal residency you probably know, and probably more of you are on this first step, like temporary residency. The highest citizenship has 2 forms. Permanent residency and long-term EU residency. It's very similar. Long-term EU residency, it's mentioned in Polish bill about foreigners. I put this information to protect you from being victims of some rumors.
I want to give you one tip before you start learning. Please make sure that there is a division between Slavic and non-Slavic groups. My strong recommendation, please take care of this. Why to have this certificate? If you are living in Poland, like interacting with Poles, with locals on the daily basis, it's much easier to do it in Polish.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the new people who came here today. It's good to see you. And welcome again for the people who are coming back again. Thank you so much for believing in us and coming back again. So our today's topic is Unlock Your Business Potential in Poland, Pathways to Permanent Residency. Maybe some of you, especially who are here like usual comers for the Expats in Business, wondering why are we talking about permanent residency, right? So we have did some research and we found out that actually there is a difference between you having a permanent residency or a citizenship and having just a TRP. That actually unlocks a lot of different advantages for you to start your business. So we thought, because we are always thinking about you and how to bring up the new information for you to proceed with your business in better ways, why not every time bring up a new information? And this time's information is permanent residency. So the agenda for today, we're going to go through 3 topics. We're going to talk about these advantages for the long-term European residency. Then we are going to talk of one option that it is going to be one of the requirements or the criteria to have it, which is the postgraduate high school diploma. And the third option is actually obtaining the B1 certificate language proficiency. But of course, before all of this, I am going to invite Z, the founder for Expats in Business. He's going to share with you the vision of the Expat in Business, why are we here, and our mission.
So thank you very much, Shaima, and thank you all for being here. And also for the guest speakers, thank you very much for coming here to make this event happen. So I will. Last time I talked about the session in the session about our values on the previous session as well. But I wanted to just reiterate the same, because I see a lot of new faces here as well. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring expat community together, and there's a lot of ideas, things around. We wanted to bring people together and go in a way where these people are connected and make businesses so that they can bring stuff So our goals, connecting people, obviously, that's why you are here. So we have these sessions to give information as well as, to make sure that you are connected with each other so that we collect information and we analyze this data, who is working on what, things like that. And then, we try to be in touch with them. What is our mission? So we start here, but in the meantime, we wanted to go into the next level as well. If we can touch upon different cities, we wanted to do the same. We will have different sessions going on. We have many different sessions that what we have planned. So we wanted to go into that level as well. So it's about connections, building connections for business purposes. But we know that it is key to understand about as many people as possible to know what they require, right? And our values, like if I talk about our values, like, we wanted to respect each other because we are coming from different cultures, different ethnic groups and stuff like that. So it is very important, like, we don't talk about sensitive topics sometimes which might cause a trouble, right? So which will be a trouble for us as well as you guys. So that we will try to avoid as much as conflicts as possible and respect each other. But in the meantime, take something from the others. There's a lot of things to learn from the others. So talk to each other, like, go see what they're doing. If there's anything that you can do, respect each other's, but in the meantime, gain some value. Who is it for? So obviously you are here, right? So there's people who does businesses, who wanted to start businesses, who is like, struggling. They have a business idea, but they don't know what to do. So I was also like the same. How did I unlock my idea? By communicating, networking with people like you, right? So there's a bigger opportunity. Talk to each other. You will find out like a lot of key important information that they're giving to you. And there might be a question also like, can you be part of it? Because we start small, okay? Initially when I started, it was me, that's who was creating groups, and then like, it grew gradually. And then we have a bigger team now. Like we wanted to grow it more because there's different pieces that you're going to see in the next slides. Like, So I'm going to talk about this stuff now. So previous sessions, you might not see that there's many structure which is here, but we are trying to build some structure into the sessions that what we have. So this is one of the sessions that you see, which is B, guest speaker sessions. But apart from that, we have connect and collaborate session where we talk to individuals, we meet on a cafe or like even different places to connect with these people so that we understand about them. We know them personally. We know them from the names. We know them from what they're trying to do. And we will just advise them, or we will take something back, or like we will ask them to contribute onto the community depending on their skills and stuff like that. So connect and collaboration session, like, it's about networking. Guest speaker session, it's about what you see. We will be taking different topics, what is important to educate you, as well as like, give something to the community. And then cultural exchange session, which we are trying to do, like, because we are coming from different cultures, different parts of the area, like, the world. So there's a lot of things that we can learn, as well as we can move it into a business opportunity. So if we have a broader mindset, it's about connecting with someone that knows something which is on their area, and then connecting these dots into a different area as well. So you can think about it also, like, but this cultural exchange session, the discussions are happening at the moment. It's ongoing, and soon we will be able to let you know when it is going to happen and what is the kind of a structure. And also, we connect with the people here physically, but I feel that there's a piece missing, which is with COVID in, a lot of people went on working from home, like they wanted to be at home and stuff like that, but there are still people whose potential can do businesses and stuff like that. So what we are thinking about is having a virtual connect session as well. And then the final one, there's a lot of people work with businesses development, and then they wanted to do host sessions and talk about different stuff, conduct events, ask us to come into the places and stuff like that. So what we are planning to do is have these business development events and workshops in the future. Yeah. And then who is enabling this? This is the most important part for me, because it's not that I can do it alone. It's a team. Okay. So we have Adrian, and then Bautik, Chaima, Chamila. So I will tell their names, and then it will be making much more sense to raise your hand or something like that. So Adrian is not here, unfortunately, but Adrian is the person who you see on the picture. And then Bautik, can you raise your hand? Yeah. And Chaima, he was the host for the session today. And Shamila is on the corner. Okay. And then Daniel is the videographer, he's coordinating with the video stuff. And Izem also, and Saurabh, yeah, on the corner. And Vardhan, yeah, and finally me. So this is us. And then if you wanted to be part of it as well, if you have something special, you can contribute to the session, feel free to let us know. And then we will discuss about it. Chaima, thank you very much again. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the session and enjoy the event. Thank you.
So, why do we need a permanent residency, or also known as Altur, for that it will give us a better advantage in our businesses. As you can see here, there is a list that it is mentioned: freedom of movement, market access, trade opportunities, simplified procedures, access to EU funding and grants. And I think this is something that it is the most useful for you. I was able actually to find minimum 20 associations that are going to fund any person who is having a permanent residency or a citizenship. Why do we think that it's very much, important that you are a permanent resident or a citizen? It's because it gives a feeling of reliability. You are actually a more trustworthy person because you are here for the long term. You committed to learn the language. You are staying here for long. That's why these people will invest in you and they will pay money to fund your project. There are two types of businessmen in here. There are the businessmen who have the idea but do not have the money, or the people who have the money but do not have the idea. And I think this is very relatable for the people who would like actually to start the business, but they are lacking the fund. I made research, I read about these foundations, and the procedure is not actually very difficult, but they need this reliability. They need to know that the person is a permanent resident or a citizen. We are here probably staying, most of us, for some long time, so why not just start and make ourselves real contributors or part of this community and actually give an access or have the access to get these funds. Hiring across borders, I think this is also something, easy to understand. If you are a person holding a TRP and you have a small business, but you want actually to hire someone from abroad because they have certain skills that you need. Let's say you are a Turkish person and you want to make baklava, but actually you need someone from Turkey who will make a good baklava. A chef, for example, it will not be similar. For you to bring that person from abroad, it will be easier if you are a holder for a permanent residency or a citizenship. Something simple. Favorable tax conditions. I don't know if you know this, but you will have less taxations or better, cutoffs on your taxes when you have permanent residency or when you are a citizen rather than you have a TRP. And they are actually really, really good numbers. And then networking opportunities and, of course, the path to citizenship, which is the eventual goal for you. We have talked, because not only me today, but our speakers, who I will present shortly, they all have valuable information of how to be part of this beautiful country and be an actual citizen. We have actually thought that we're going to collect and make a document that we will share later on that will have more information. Of course, our time is limited, so we will be able just to say briefly, but what is the most important. But for sure, we're going to share with you more details, like these lists of funds and grants, these organizations and associations, and so more, which you will learn about in the session. So, our first guest speaker is a lawyer, Wojciech Zawadzki.
Hello, my name is Wojciech Zawadzki. My original profession is corporation law. I work in court, but also I have privilege to work in a school as a teacher with mostly with foreign students. So from this experience, I know how important for you foreigners is to getting this let's say, higher forms of legal residency. Before my speech, I would like to mention about something. First of all, my speech will be not advertisement. However, I will be speaking mostly about one school. It's because it's my experience. First, I was student in this school, then now I work there as a teacher. So about this, I know the most. Also, I'm not representing this school as a term of power of attorney. What else I would like to mention before that the speech is mostly about situation of foreigners from abroad, from out of European Union. However, Ukrainian situation is different. When war in Ukraine started, Poland provide some support, low support for Ukrainians, and their situation is similar, but in some points could be a little bit different. So mostly from experiences which I mentioned, but also because I have foreign friends and I know what means for them residency. I wanted to tell you about this form firstly. Those four forms of legal residency, you probably know, and probably more of you are on this first step, like temporary residency. All of these forms, of course, are from Polish law, except long-term EU residency, which comes originally from European Union law, which were implemented to Polish law. The last step, the highest, citizenship, has two forms. It's nadanie, in Polish words, it's nadanie and uznanie. Nadanie is like giving. It's this procedure which is made by president. So it is kind of special privilege, rather not common. And most of foreigners can apply for, in this second one, procedure, which is uznanie. Permanent residency and long-term EU residency, it's very similar. It has very similar constructions, in fact. For example, work permit, the same. Like you can work indefinitely without a special work permit. About stable and constant income and insurance, for permanent residency, it's no needed. For long-term EU residency, foreigner has to have it. About required period of residency, in case of permanent residency, only selected period counts. For long-term EU residency, most legal residency periods counted. It means that permanent residency, we can say that it's a kind of special procedure. And for example, it's for those of foreigners who can prove Polish roots, those who have wife or of husband, Polish citizen, and in some different form of humanitarian protection. About proficiency of Polish language, it's needed for applying for citizenship and for long-term EU residency. It's this required legal proof of language proficiency is like common for those two procedures, and I know that mostly foreigners think about it. Here in the brackets, I put articles from Polish law exactly when it's mentioned. So long-term EU residency, it's mentioned in Polish Bill about foreigners. So it's Ustawa o cudzoziemcach, articles 211 till 229. Those last numbers, I put, it's official numbers where this bill is published. So the last current version of this bill. I put this information just to protect you from being victims of some rumors, because I know that from time to time there is a wave of rumors in expat society about some changing of law, that it will be much harder to apply for citizenship, for example. But mostly, as I know, there are rumors. No one knows what exactly will be changed and where. So, for this reason, it's better to know where exactly to find this information. It could help. So among those different conditions which you have to do when you apply, there is also knowledge of Polish language. Here is the moment when I would like to mention that, for example, if on your way you will applying in those two, for example, of those procedures, for example, at first you will apply for long-term EU residency, then you will apply for citizenship. So this legal proof of language proficiency you can do once only. So for example, you will pass B1 exam once, and it will be like will stay for the rest of your life. Then you can even forget this Polish language, but you will have certificate and you can use in both of those procedures. It's no need to repeat. Here you can see three basic ways how to prove language proficiency. So it's a state exam of Polish language for foreigners in the level B1. About this option we'll talk everything Marta after my part. Other certificate, special, I would say, certificate, and as a last one, graduation school in Polish language. I mean Polish language of instruction for all classes. And the school could be in Poland or not in Poland, because such schools are also abroad. And I would like to tell you just more about this last option. One of options is post-secondary school. I mean post-secondary school without Matura exam even. And in this bill about foreigners, Article 211, Part 1.3, there is mentioned that which exactly schools are honored in this case. It's mentioned in the bill about education, Prawo Oświatowe. There in Article 2nd, point the second, it's mentioned that it could be also post-secondary school, this without Matura school. And the school which I mentioned about where I work and I know the most, and also I can see here my students, they know also, this school offers, I work and my students were studying exactly floristry, but it's not the only offer of School Żak. Żak also offers such courses as a post-secondary school. As you can see, there are, of course, different topics, but also different duration. It's sometimes it's 2 semesters, sometimes 3 or 4. Some of them are for free, some of them are paid. So, of course, it's up to you, potential student, what you will choose. When you register in Żak, you need to have a residency card and proof of your education level. What could be the most easy situation is when you come, for example, Poland originally for studying here and you graduate Polish university or other school. If not, if the highest level of your education is certificate from other country than Poland, it could be a little bit more complicated. Because, for example, from countries of European Union, Poland recognized it as a equal education system like in Poland. So just it's enough to provide the translation of the certificate. But if we are talking about certificates from school from out of European Union, it could be more complicated. To say it shortly, it depends. In Poland has with this country agreement that the educational system is equal. And with some countries, Poland has such agreements. For example, it's, as I remember, New Zealand, Costa Rica, Iceland, Belarus, Ukraine. With some countries not, like, for example, India. And for some countries, like Syria, for example, is more complicated situation because Poland honored diplomas only obtained before 1st of December 2006. Apparently, till this date, there was kind of agreement, then something happened. And about if you need it or not, of course, in JAC, they will inform you. If you need to go to this procedure of recognition of a certificate issued abroad, Polish name, it's uznanie świadectwa wydanego za granicą, it has to be done by Kuratorium Oświaty, not JAC. Kuratorium Oświaty, it's an office in Krakow, it's a governmental institution, it's a local representation of Ministry of Education. And I would say that it's a quite challenging procedure where you have to you have to provide from your school a list of courses, a list of your grades, explanation how the system of grades works. Also, even you have to provide information about for which kind of school you can apply with this certificate. When you go through this procedure, with, of course, sworn translation to Polish, you can go to JAC, and in this case, you will be registered. I know on the site I can say that I saw like official letter from Ministry of Foreign Affairs to Ministry of Education in Poland that it was mentioned that especially private high schools are too flexible, let's say, for foreigners, and they are not strict enough with all those procedures. So if this letter were published, I would expect that that schools could be more strict about it. Florist in JAC. The official name of this course is Florist. And about this, I know the most, so I can explain how it works. I would say that it's quite popular course. Maybe even if for some of you doesn't sound could not convince you at the beginning, but it's quite popular. I think because of few reasons. It's because of duration. It's only 2 semesters. It's for free, and also I think because of content, quite light and easy. And it is, in fact, it needs some of effort. But if you only like such kind of creative work, you are interested in some art, it's for you. Classes are in Rzeźnicza Street. It's near Galeria Kazimierz on Saturday and Sundays. It's 2 weekends in monthly, and it's in Polish. Courses are theory like base of floristry, projecting and selling, floristry service, cultural base of floristry, and also courses are practical, like wedding bouquets, funeral compositions, occasional compositions. School provides real flowers. I think that it means something because I heard that there are some of schools which works with fake flowers. So you can imagine difference. The main condition of the school is attendance. They require at least 50% of attendance monthly in all courses, and also in every course in the semester, at least 50%. In every course, you have to collect during semester 3 partial grades and positive grade at the end of semester. The positive grade in Polish educational system is from 2 to 6. 1 is failed, from 2 depends on the level of ambition, but even with 2, you pass every exam. On the way, it's required to do internship. It's 140 hours, 45 minutes, in any company related to floristry. How this internship look like? It's agreement between student and this company. What school require is certificate. It's a like confirmation that it was done. And also the typical medicine exams. It's exactly the same which everyone of us do from time to time at work in medicine pracy. So it's quite typical. At the end, after 2 semesters, there is a state exam. We are still on the way to get this golden certificate, which everyone dreams about. Before is state exam. State exam has 2 parts. It's theoretical part, which take place also in Rzeźnicza near Galeria Kazimierz. It's a test, 1 hour, 40 questions. You have to have 20 to pass. And practical part take place in other place. It's Cystersów Street near Fabryczna complex. It's 2 hours. Materials are provided, and there is a task. At first, you need to do floristic drawing, pricing, and then composition itself. About result, after theory exam, you know immediately if you passed or not. Protocol from students' practical exam is sent to Warsaw, so certificate from exam itself it's after 2 months, and very important information. What I think it could be relieved, that student doesn't have to pass this exam to get certificate. In fact, the thing is to get any grade of the certificate, what means that could also fail. So in fact, what is required is attending this exam. Then you can get certificate. Certificate is ready to pick up about 2 weeks after state exam. What is important that in this certificate there isn't information about that education were in Polish language, so a student need to ask in the office of school for like additional paper. It's for free. Also, I don't know why, to be honest, but there is an expiry date on this paper. This additional one about language is 3 months. So depends when you would like to submit this paper in department for foreigners. You can ask once again about this paper. As I mentioned, it's separate certificate related just to exam. What it's not required in procedures related to residency. Even when someone wants to open flower shop in Poland, this certificate isn't required. So it's for satisfaction. Just on site, I will mention about fun fact that also Agricultural University in Krakow do this floristry, but the difference is that in a university is as a post-master graduation school, but this school in university cost 2 semesters 9,500 zł. Still is possible to register in JAK if someone will feel convinced. Even till the end of October, I know that they do registration. However, the sooner the better. It's related to this required attendance. And also what I would like to say that the system works. I know I have friends who, based on certificate of floristry, applied for long-term residency, and they got it. I know them, I saw the card, I touched it, so yeah, for sure the system works. I would like to encourage you in this situation to apply by yourself. I know that on the market are many, not maybe many, but there are agencies who do it, but be sure that this procedure applying, it's quite easy. especially if you have any experiences with applying for temporary residency. It's not more complicated at all. As you probably know, the workers in the Krakow Department for Foreigners, they are really kind and helpful. From time to time, there are days with free consultation. I know that for some of foreigners, it's a little bit scary submitting this appointment. So remember, please, that it isn't appointment for verifying your Polish language. Your proof of Polish language in this case is certificate. This person who you meet this person's job is only to take papers from you and your fingerprint. That's it. Also, filling the form, it's quite easy, even though it has something like a cover letter about your motivation. But also in this procedure, you don't have to convince anyone to give you long-term residency, for example. It's just, to be honest, I don't know what for, but for sure you don't have to be scared that you have to convince. If you fulfill those conditions, it's your right to get it. And last sentence, regardless of what I told you about school, if you have friends in Jacques, in floristry, who graduated, please treat them as the best source of information about it, because they know the best how it works. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Wojtek. I am the florista. If you need information, we have actually few also here. If any of you needs to ask questions right now, we have a more valuable person who is a teacher giving classes in this school and who has a better knowledge than us. So this is your chance. Anyone has a question? Wow, you are very good. You explained everything.
Maybe there will be also time to talk about it.
Sure, of course. Later on, you will also have the chance. If later on something will pop up in your mind, another question to ask, you can always write us and we will, Wojtek will answer you for that. And right now, if you will not, you actually speak a little bit Polish and you actually want to learn to speak the language more, then we have another person who is going to talk to us about how to obtain the B1 Polish language certificate. Marta?
My name is Marta and I'm Polish language teacher. I'm also a member of the examination committee during the B1 state exam. And it means that if you decide to pass the exam, we are going to meet, right? In the room. One of you asked me before this meeting started if it is even possible to pass the exam. So I would like to start with saying, yes, it's possible and you can do it. I would like to tell you shortly about how to do it, how to register it, what is important. And then if I don't say something that you would like to know, you can just ask, because there is quite a lot of information and we have a limit of time and I talk a lot. So I will try to make it short. First of all, before I start talking about B1 itself, I know that some of you didn't start learning Polish yet, but you are considering, because some of you told me this before. So I want to give you one tip before you start learning. If you decide to study in a group course in a language school, please make sure that there is a division between Slavic and non-Slavic groups. It's not a must. It doesn't have to be there, but that's my strong recommendation. Please take care of this. Because as you know, some Slavic languages are super similar to Polish on some levels, right? So the people Slavic who start learning Polish, maybe they cannot speak yet, but their level of understanding is much higher than the others. And it's very, very demotivating if you are not a Slavic. I see you saying yes, so maybe you have that experience. So just make sure of this if you start learning from scratch. That's just an introduction. And what about the B1? So the next B1 exam, the next and the last this year, is taking place in November 16-17, I believe. The next exam is taking place in November 16-17, if some of you is already planning to register for that one. Anyway, why to have this certificate? Wojtek was already saying something about this, but also if you are living in Poland like interacting with Poles, with locals on the daily basis, it's much easier to do it in Polish. Even with the basic Polish, right? It's easier to get closer to people, maybe to get some better networking. So it's not just the paper, it's the way of communicating with the locals, with Poles. And there is a list of requirements when you can get the certificate without actually passing the exam. Let me save this for the end if we have time. If not, there is a website called Certyfikat Polski. You may know it if you are interested. There is the full list because there is a lot of options. I can tell you about this, but it's not the most important for us now. So let me save it for the end if we have time, okay? And there is the question that usually people are asking. How long does the preparation takes? And I believe that you will hate me now for my answer. It depends. Okay, it depends on so many factors. Depends if you are taking intensive course, if you study every day, if you study twice a week, if you study after the classes, if you don't. So I'm not able to tell you. I don't want to lie and tell you, okay, 200 hours, okay? I don't know. I would say that the standard with the regular courses twice a week, it would be like 3 years for non-Slavics. So more or less, but it strongly depends. I don't know if it's a good news or not. Probably not. For non-Slavic, I would say, if you really study, but it depends. This is the individual thing. Depends, right? So I'm not able to tell you like this. Okay. And what is the cost of the exam? It's 150 euros usually, but it can slightly depend depending on the institution that is organizing an exam. If you would like to register, you have to visit the website Certyfikat Polski because they are announcing the places that are organizing the exams. It's not just the language school. It has to be institution with special requirements that they have. Usually it's university. In Krakow, it's one bigger school also that organizes the exam. So you have to take a look. And registration usually starts 2 months before the exam, closes 1 month before, and then they will not add you to the list. So you have to take care of the date. So this is the cost, this is the registration. Registration itself is not difficult. You just follow the website and I don't think that it will be like a trouble for you. But what about the exam itself, if we can... Oh, yes, thank you. If you were passing in the past any language exam, like maybe English, I don't know, Spanish, Italian, so the Polish is not very much different. There is 5 parts. There is speaking, grammar, reading, writing, and I'm missing one, right? Speaking, yes, thank you. So there is 5 parts, and the important thing is that you have to gain 50% of each part. I'm talking about the results. It means that if you pass the speaking for 100%, I don't know, grammar 100%, but then, let's say writing goes a bit worse, 48%, the whole exam is failed. Okay, so each part has to be passed with minimum 50% for the B1. Then for the B2, I believe it's 60, but let's stick to B1, right? So 50%, and some of you were already asking me if it's good to take the course, like preparatory course for the exam. And what I said was, from my point of view, yes, because preparing for the exam, it's not exactly a regular language course, it's preparing to pass an exam, right? You need to know the structure. So, for example, if you have the speaking part of the exam, you need to know how to start the speech, which word you have to use. You can basically remember by heart the structure, and then any topic that comes your way, you can somehow fit in, right? And as a member of the examination committee, I can really very fast say if someone is prepared or not, because we can see if people know how to speak, how to build the speech, so it's really well seen. And then your points depends on that. So that's very important. The same grammar. I know that some of you probably struggle with grammar. And here I'm coming to my first point. Please make sure that you study in non-Slavic group, or if you are Slavic, in a Slavic group. Because the most of the grammar of the Polish language we teach on the A1 and A2. So all the cases, all the tenses, so the beginnings are extremely important. And it's coming out during the exam if some of you have some gaps from the previous levels. So that's important. Also, if you decide to do the preparatory course, it's not the B1 course. It's totally the preparatory course when you work on the sample test. You just try to, basically to fill the exercises. This is not for the people who just finished A2. This is for the people who already finished B1 level. They have the knowledge and they just want to prepare for the B1, totally for passing the test. I'm talking about this because I have so many clients coming after A2 and they try to prepare for the test. It's not really possible because there is a lot of vocabulary. Maybe not so much grammar on the B1 level, but a lot of vocabulary. So without actually passing the level, it could be just hard to follow. Yes, if you would like to see sample test, the tests from the previous years are not possible to be downloaded. And I believe I cannot tell you what was there, right? If it's a secret. But some sample tests you can download from this website, Certifikat Polski. There is, I believe, 2 or 3 B1 tests with recordings with the key answers. So you can test yourselves. The audio is quite long because it's 25 minutes straight. But it's good to check yourselves. Maybe the writing part and the speaking part you cannot do individually, but then you can always help any teacher to help you. It's good to check it because, as I said, you need to know the structure. If you just come from the street because you already speak Polish, you can have troubles because you don't know how the exam look like. You may be super fluent in speaking, but then there is one particular, task in grammar and you have a problem. So it's good to be familiar with it. Yes, thank you. Perfection. Okay, and what to do to prepare? As I already said, grammar is important because there is the full part devoted to grammar. And there are some specific tasks that are repeating, specific kind of exercises that are repeating. I cannot tell always, right, 100% because they may change it, but more or less, if the person preparing you works just a member of the committee, they may tell you, like, you know what, this happens often, this maybe not. So it's good to repeat the stuff that is really useful. That's the first thing. Learn useful tips. So, for example, speaking. You learn one structure by heart, and then you are relaxed. Any topic that comes, you can use the same structure, right? So the same with writing. There is a list of essays, of the things to write that you have to be familiar with, and there is a structure of it as well. I know that it's a lot of remembering by heart, and I know that you're not going to write, letters to your colleague after that in Polish, probably, or a story, right? But for the exam, you have to know it. So it's good just to remember because it makes your life much easier. The test online, I told you about it. Yeah, and be familiar with the structure. Yes. Okay, we still have some time.
No, nothing. Okay. My question about filling exam for just one part.
Mm-hmm.
Should I repeat all the part? It is not fair.
Sorry for this, right? No.
Because I passed or I get A2 certified for German, but it was, if you fail for writing or speaking, you just repeat the writing. That's my question.
That would be nice, but as far as I know, then you have to repeat the whole exam. So you cannot just come and repeat just the grammar or just the speaking, but it would be nice.
So you say like to learn B1, it takes you 3 years. If you are a person who has not like beginner kind of thing, what if like you did maybe like a year of Polish, right? But yeah, what if you did like a year and then now you want to go for B1? What exactly, how long would it take, or what exactly would you need to do to prepare for it?
So you meant that you had a break, right? You studied for some time?
Like when I was at university, I did 1 year of Polish, and that was it. That's what they had on the program, and so I'm not quite sure if I'm on A1 or A2, but now I haven't been practicing for some time. So does that mean that I start from the very beginning, or I start somewhere in between? How does that work?
It means that you should be tested. That's the first thing. So you should approach a language teacher, a language school, and make them test your level. Because if you are okay with A1 or you are okay with A2, depending on your level, then there is no sense to start from the beginning. Or maybe you can just take few individual classes to fill the gaps from the previous levels and then go forward. So it depends. If I were you, I would approach any teacher to test the level, usually the conversation, or you can even do the sample test, depending on what do you want to check. Usually the conversation. And if you already know what are the gaps, what are the blanks, then you can take some classes to fill the blanks, and then, for example, attend the group for the next level.
Okay.
Because it's hard to say. And my favorite answer, it depends.
Yeah.
What you know, if it's A1, A2, you need to be tested by the teacher. So that's what I would say.
Then I've got one more question. This one is more on, because you mentioned like you have to register 2 months before for you to be listed for the test. So is there like specific times? Because you mentioned like November, the next people are writing is in November. So is it every month, or is like November and another month, maybe in June, or maybe another month?
And is that right?
Is it every month, or just like specific times when you write the test?
Usually 3 or 4 times per year. For 2025, I don't know yet because it was not announced yet. Okay. But usually it's 3-4 times per week, so you just have to check. I could guess February, but it's not even announced. Okay, so it's just a guess. You have to follow the website, and I believe that after the last exam in November, they will give the...
Or the next time that...
Yes,
okay.
the next date for the whole year.
Okay.
So right now, I don't know yet, but it will be surely revealed, probably.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so my question is, realistically, if I want to get the B1, let's say extensive courses, how long would that take to complete B1?
Extensive course?
Let's say 5 times a week. So I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours. So how long would that take?
I believe that language is a process.
Yes.
So even if you take 30 hours or 100 hours within a month, it's not give you A1. Right? Even if you cover the amount of hours that is set to be the whole level, language is a process. So still you need some time for your brain to get this knowledge like done. So depends if you are a fast learner or not. How much vocabulary can you remember during a day? How much time will you devote? But I would say, I don't know, maybe 2 years, maybe 1.5. It is really hard to say. I cannot give you the answer because I'm preparing the people for the exam. It totally depends. I have people who prepared in 1.5 years and the others in 5 years. Okay, so it's hard for me to say, not knowing how you speak, I don't want to lie, no.
No, of course. I ask because, it's important for me to kind of, be able to communicate. I do communicate. I have a very broken Polish. But old ladies understand me. So for me, it's a very honor kind of a moment. But yeah, that's why I ask, how.
The question is if you need to focus on an exam or just on communication on B1 level.
I thought gaining B1 is I would assume it would be for a foreigner, it would be great for a language, because then you're just in the middle where you understand and you're able to communicate back and forth, have a conversation. So that's why I asked for that specific level. Yeah.
My favorite question depends, but really faster than 3 years in that case.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
I would recommend you, if you just want to communicate, to learn via conversation. So there are some new methods that you don't use the course book, you just speak, it makes it faster. But then the preparation for B1 exam takes longer because you probably need to...
dive in. Yeah. Exactly.
But that's a long topic.
Okay.
How much time do we have?
Long. Thank you.
This B1 exam, you said, I think 3 to 4 times in a year, right?
Yes, 3 or 4 I have to...
So this, the number of seat, right, in that exam, how many can give at a time? Is that limited or a number? Suppose there are only 100 people can give it at a time, or it could be 200. How is it?
That's a good question because it differs. Sometimes university has 200 places, sometimes 100. I would risk saying that depends on the place as well. We have It depends because I work for the university during the exams, and sometimes we had 200 because we had space, sometimes less. But surely there is a limit. So it's better to register as fast as possible because the places are just disappearing. So still, there is a limit. If you want to register, do it fast. They open the registration and there you are. Okay. Thank you. Because if you have no place, then you may need to travel to another city, or I don't know, you don't want to travel to Gdańsk, right, for the exam if you are in Krakow.
Oh, so each city has it's not on just one place. Every city has their own centers.
And not every city, but for example, Krakow used to have 3 or 4 places. Gdańsk also. I'm not familiar with the other cities that much, but still the commission about the Polish language, they announce the places, the number of the institutions on their website. So if there is full list, and if you not make it in Krakow because there is no place, then you just try somewhere else.
Do you have any idea of how many words you need to know in order to be at around B1 level?
Yes, I have, but please approach me after the meeting because I have to check it.
Okay.
But there is the amount of words that it's said to be enough for the level. But that surprised me.
Yeah.
I'm not a good liar. Approach me after the meeting.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
But yes, there is something like that. I will check it for you, okay?
Thank you very much, Marta. They will approach you all later on. Be ready. Okay. Right now, the center where we are right now doing our event is actually giving a free Polish language classes. Actually, Marta is giving some of these classes. And because of this chance, we want Paulina, our host, to speak a bit about the center.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm really happy that we can host Expats in Business for a second time in the Multicultural Center of Krakow. I want to ask you how many people knows about this place before, that the center exists. I'm just curious. Okay. So we have a quite big audience of newcomers. I'm really, really happy because I really want people to know about the center. So I'll just tell you briefly. Multicultural Center in Krakow is the city co-founded project run by IB Poland Foundation. And we are operating since 2021. And the center is dedicated to Krakowians, so all people who live in Krakow, but not focusing, but especially welcoming foreigners, because we want to show that our city is very diverse and multicultural, and we have neighbors coming from all over the world, and what brings us together is that we chose Krakow to be our home. So I'm also not originally from Krakow, but I've been living here for quite a while, and I feel that this is my place, and I believe yours as well, at least for some time. So what we do, we mostly do culture events, also language courses, but I will tell you about this in a second. So we also want to give the space for you. So if you have any ideas or you would like to organize something, but you don't know how to start, who to approach, you just have like some great, thought in your mind, you can come here and we will help you. So like these guys came and they said, we want to organize this meeting. And I said, okay, you have a space, so you can just come. It's quite easy and we want to make it easy. So all the activities are free of charge. And also, like if you want to organize something, it also has to be free of charge. So that's the condition. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. There are some leaflets here. Please take them. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram putting Centrum Wielokulturowe w Krakowie. So that's the first lesson of your Polish to find it. Very important thing. Together with the Multicultural Center, we run information point for foreigners. So that's the place where you can come with all kinds of questions regarding your life, your stay, and so on. So we have consultants who work from Monday till Friday, every day from 9 until 5. They speak 4 languages, Polish, English, Ukrainian, and Russian. So if you have questions regarding your legalization or you want to, find some city office, you can message us. When you have more complicated questions, we also have free legal advice. We also have psychological support. So everything is free of charge. It's very important to know about that. We also do have Polish courses, that's true, but I have a bad news for you. We just closed the registration for the new groups last week, and I shared the link with Expats in Business group. So we provide Polish courses on different levels. Right now, we are starting new group for Arabic speakers, for non-Slavic speakers, and also, thanks to Marta, for Turkish speakers. So we try to specialize because we are aware that different language groups, they learn in a different speed. But also, what is important to say, we are not a language school. So we won't prepare you for the exam. We want your life to be easier here. So we can give you our certificate, but it's not the certificate that you will give to the office and you say, hey, I've graduated from Multicultural Center in Krakow. Please give me the, B2 certificate. No, sorry. It's not the place, but you can just, learn Polish for the daily communication. So I won't invite you for the groups because they are closed. Maybe there will be some additional registration, but this all will be posted on our social media. But where I can invite you to our weekly Polish language cafe, which is a conversation club. Every Tuesday we meet here at 5:30 and we just talk, which is very important, as Marta mentioned, to learn the language. No matter how many hours you will study, you have to practice. So that's the place where you can practice and just, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be shy. There are all kinds of levels. And I can tell you that we have some people who are here for 1 year and they on the B2 level. So it's possible, but it all depends on you. How much effort you want to put, how open you are, and if you want to practice with other people. So that's all from my side. Please check our Facebook, our Instagram, because we have really cool events coming. Tomorrow we have a quiz night at 6 if you want to just hang out and take part in some fun quiz. There will be prizes. We also have acting workshop on Saturday and a very cool multicultural workshop about the diversity. So to understand better our background. So all the events are on Facebook or Instagram. And thank you very much for coming.
So there's one more question. It's obvious thing that the topic is interesting for most of you. But I just wanted to know, how many of you are really trying to do business and here because of a business, and how many of you are just to understand about this residence thing? If you can raise hand, if you are doing some kind of a business or planning to do something business related. Okay, it's more than 50%, so it's good. Yeah.
And now we are reaching the end of our event. We have here our QR code. It has all of our social media. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I know that some of you still have questions. The speakers will be here for 1 more hour. Please feel free to go to the kitchen, grab a drink, and ask the questions that are left. Of course, the obvious aim as well is that we are the expats in business. Still try to find your business partner or your new business idea. So that would be all. Thank you very much. It was really good to see you today, and we hope to see you in the next events. Thank you.